technology acknowledges that our campuses are located on the unceded traditional territories of the Coast Salish nations of Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh.
Good afternoon, I'm Ali Falla here with your 12 p.m. news. First, we see what's been happening in western part of the country. Multiple people have been taken to hospital with serious injuries after a charter bus rollover in northwest of Edmonton. Mounties responded to the crash this morning on Highway 672 near Beaver Lodge west of Grand Prairie. No fatalities have been reported. Corporal Matthew Howell says there were 17 people on the bus. Some of them were also being assessed for minor injuries at the scene. Good news for campers. It's time to bust out your hot dog sticks and marshmallows because the province will be ending the campfire ban this Friday. Izzy Morgan has more on this.
British Columbia is lifting the campfire ban just in time for the May long weekend. The ban was put in place just last Thursday and was the earliest ever fire ban, with bans typically not being put in place until late June. Sprout Lake Volunteer Fire Department Chief Mike Kane says it's important you're careful even if you're not having a fire, as ATVs and dirt bikes are common causes of grass fires. In 2025, there were over 1,300 wildfires recorded in BC, with 43% caused by humans. This year, BC Wildfire Services hopes to lower that number. Izzy Morgan, BCIT News.
As track meets continue across Richmond, parents in this area have launched a petition against the Richmond School District's track and field changes. Our reporter Tyler Bereskin has more details.
The district removed the gender barrier while also dropping parts of the competitive aspect to offer students more opportunities to participate. A petition has been started by Kim Nowitzki, a Richmond parent, to try and revert these changes. With over 2,000 signatures, the petition says the competitive aspect is important to track, adding that athletic accomplishments should be recognized as much as academic ones. The school district says that students still have the opportunity to participate competitively, but only if they choose to. Both sides have very different viewpoints on how to encourage more female student participation. Tyler Bereskin, BCIT News.
The Lebanese Health Ministry says the latest Israel attacks to this country killed at least 12 people. Malak Harb reports on these Israeli drone strikes.
Israeli drones struck multiple vehicles across areas of Lebanon, including south of Beirut. The latest wave of airstrikes come a day before Lebanon and Israel are scheduled to hold another round of direct talks in Washington. The Israeli military said that it has been striking Hezbollah infrastructure in several areas in southern Lebanon, hours after warning residents of 6 southern villages to leave. Hezbollah continued to claim attacks on Israeli troops in Lebanon and in northern Israel. Fighting between the militant group and the Israeli army has persisted almost daily, even after a U.S. brokered truce that took effect in mid-April. According to Lebanese Health Ministry, at least 380 people have been killed and more than 1,100 wounded since the fragile ceasefire was put in place.
A licensed addiction counselor who helped sell ketamine to Friends star Matthew Perry is set to be sentenced. Prosecutors are asking for Eric Fleming to be sentenced to a total of 1 year in prison. He has pleaded guilty to distribution of ketamine resulting in death. Fleming connected Perry with drug dealer Jaswin Sangha, who was sentenced to 15 years in prison. Fleming cooperated with authorities and gave up Sangha. He delivered 25 vials of Sangha's ketamine to Perry 4 days before his death. Fleming's attorneys have asked the Los Angeles federal judge to sentence him to 3 months in prison and 9 months in a residential treatment facility. In weather, according to the Environment Canada, Burnaby today is going to be cloudy with a temperature of around 13 degrees Celsius throughout the day. That was all for your 12 p.m. news today. I'm Ali Falla and wish you have a great day.
Stay tuned for more on BCIT's 1680 The Crow.
Everything is changing to digital. Everything is online. People aren't just waiting for the 6 o'clock news anymore. People want their news right now. They want to be able to go onto their smartphone, onto the internet, and see the news that they want to see.
Vancouver is growing at, a really rapid rate, the Lower Mainland even, and with the tools that we're given here, we're able to cover all of that.
Welcome to BCIT Magazine. I'm Radhika Sikakane.
In the program, they really leave it up to you. I mean, the help is there when you need it, figuring out how to use the programs like Premiere, Audition, and figuring out how to use the cameras. But it's up to you to sort of experiment and figure out what you can do when you go out in the field.
They brought candles and flowers to remember the student who lost her life yesterday.
Theresa May says the international community condemns Moscow.
They really make sure that you know the basics and you are able to put out a quality product.
I'm Brady Tretnero.
And I'm Radhika Sikakane. Thank you for tuning in to BCIT Magazine.
Good afternoon. I'm Matthew Wong, and here are 12:10 p.m. sports headlines. The Vancouver Whitecaps are back in MLS action this Saturday, visiting the Houston Dynamo at Shell Energy Stadium. Kickoff starts at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time, and Vancouver is looking to turn a rough road stretch into points before they finally get more time at BC Place later in the year. That Houston trip is part of a heavy travel block for the Caps, who are away from Vancouver for multiple straight games this month. After Houston, the Whitecaps will continue south to face San Diego on May 23rd, another late evening kickoff that keeps their playoff push running through the West Coast. For BC fans, it means 2 consecutive Saturdays of primetime road games before a long-awaited run of home dates later in the summer. Continuing in soccer news, there's less than a month to go before the FIFA World Cup begins in Canada, the US, and Mexico. The BC government has yet to unveil how much it will cost for Vancouver to stage 7 of the soccer games. Premier David Eby says he's asked his team to provide the numbers before the end of the month.
It is a key piece of information for the public, but the legacies that will be created by this game, whether it's community sports fields or the improvements here to the stadium that will create lines of revenue, or the opportunity to develop and enhance relationships with business partners or tourists from around the world, is significant and hard to understate.
To football, and the BC Lions' first action of 2026 will be right here in the province of BC, but outside of Vancouver. The Lions host the Edmonton Elks in a preseason matchup at Langford Starlight Stadium on Vancouver Island on Saturday, May 23rd. The CFL has already moved that game to a 2 p.m. Pacific kickoff, giving Island fans an afternoon showcase and the Lions a key tune-up before the regular season. That Langford game caps off a busy training camp period for BC, with the Lions again using Kamloops as their training base, and as they install schemes and sort out their roster. After facing Edmonton, BC wraps up the preseason on the road in Winnipeg on May 29th, then shifts to a road opener in Saskatchewan on June 13th. It's a front-loaded travel schedule that sets up a big midsummer return to BC Place for a July 25th home date against Toronto. Going to hockey now. Hamilton, Ontario is getting a professional women's hockey league team next season. Jason White from the Canadian Press has more.
The PWHL has announced it's expanding to Hamilton and Las Vegas. That'll bring the total number of teams to 11 after the league announced the addition of Detroit last week. Hamilton's yet-to-be-named team will play out of the recently renovated 18,000-seat TD Coliseum. Now, the PWHL could still reveal another expansion team. Its stated plan was to add 2 to 4 more clubs for next season. Jason White, The Canadian Press.
Here's an update on Vancouver-born NBA player Brandon Clark. Alex Stone from ABC News has more.
Memphis Grizzlies forward Brandon Clark was found dead inside of a home here in L.A. on Monday evening. According to LAPD sources, it's believed to have been a drug overdose, and narcotics were found at the scene, according to sources. Clark had been recently arrested in Arkansas for drug trafficking, possession of drugs, and a police chase. He had not played much this season due to injury. The Memphis Grizzlies saying in a statement they are heartbroken by the loss of Clark, that he was an outstanding teammate and had a great impact on the Memphis community. Alex Stone, ABC News, Los Angeles.
For hoop fans in BC, the main event tonight is Game 5 of the Eastern Conference semifinal between the Detroit Pistons and the Cleveland Cavaliers. The series is tied 2-2 heading into tonight's matchup at Little Caesars Arena in Detroit, with a tip-off at 5 p.m. Pacific time. If the Piston-Cav series goes the distance, fans here can circle Friday and Sunday as well, as Game 6 is scheduled for Friday, May 15th in Cleveland, currently set for a 7 p.m. Eastern start, followed by a potential Game 7 on Sunday, May 17th, back in Detroit. Both would again land in that late afternoon and early evening window for viewers across BC. That's all for now. I'm Matthew Wong, and thanks for listening to BCIT News. Interesting. A bit too early. Oopsies.
Stay tuned for more on BCIT's 1680 The Crow.
Everything is changing to digital. Everything is online. People aren't just waiting for the 6 o'clock news anymore. People want their news right now. They want to be able to go onto their smartphone, onto the internet, and see the news that they want to see.
Vancouver is growing at, a really rapid rate, the Lower Mainland even, and with the tools that we're given here, we're able to cover all of that.
Welcome to BCIT Magazine. I'm Radhika Sikki-King.
In the program, they really leave it up to you. I mean, the help is there when you need it, figuring out how to use the programs like Premiere, Audition, and figuring out how to use the cameras. But it's up to you to sort of experiment and figure out what you can do when you go out in the field.
They brought candles and flowers to remember the student who lost her life yesterday.
Theresa May says the international community condemns Moscow.
They really make sure that you know the basics and you are able to put out a quality product.
I'm Brady Tretanero.
And I'm Radhika Sikki-King. Thank